Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. My name is Marissa Ray. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's video. So today I am doing a braid and curl, basically just a braid out with some perm rods at the end to give me a beautiful loopy curl. This style is literally one of my favorites, and this is actually my first time doing this. So I started off with my hair freshly washed. I did not blow dry it, but blow drying could also probably give some really beautiful results. I did make sure my hair was at least about 90% dry because I definitely wanted a more stretched braid and curl look. I didn't want it to shrink up too much like my natural curls would be. So that's why I left my hair in about 4 braids to dry instead of blow drying it. I decided to part my hair in the front because I was possibly going to do something with the front of my hair, like maybe 2 ponytails or pin it somehow. So that's why I did the more straight parts in the front. But in the back, I just parted with my fingers because it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to take the braids down. I ended up doing a total of 10 braids, and I think this was perfect for the look I was going for. I would not do any more than 10 braids personally. 1, because my perm rods, the color I was using, only came with 10 in the pack anyway. And 2, I wanted it to be more fluffy and not tighter curls, if you get what I'm saying. And by the way, my favorite products, also the perm rods that I'm using, are linked on my Amazon storefront. So check out the description for all the details. To get all 10 braids about the same size, I split about 1/3 of my head in the back. Then I'm parting that first row into 3 braids, or 3 sections. Even though I do want more of a stretched look, I'm still spraying a little bit of water to each section because I want the product to go on smoother. And if you hear my baby in the background, please don't mind. You know, motherhood never ends. I'm actually using this leave-in butter by She's Made. I had a brand collab with them, but any type of leave-in butter or cream would be optimal. I know a lot of people use foam mousse as well, but I prefer to use a cream. I feel like it's more moisturizing and also isn't quite as wet because, again, I don't want my hair to be soaking wet. I want it to dry faster and be a little more stretched. Once I have the product all throughout my hair, I finger detangle it, and then I go in with a Denman brush to detangle further. And I'm also making sure my ends are nice and trimmed, which typically they are. I already trimmed my hair actually, but for a few straggly pieces, I'll clip those. And basically, to start off my braid, I use 3 legs and fold them under each other as neat and tight as possible. And I'm trying my best not to borrow hair from either leg of the braid so that I can minimize tangles and frizz during my takedown process. Bless you. I actually don't mind too much frizz, but I definitely want to minimize tangles and make my curls look more even. So I want to make sure I'm not borrowing as much as I possibly can so that my curls come out even and defined. And y'all be careful with these perm rods because the first time of opening them, the little knob would flip back and hit my knuckles. Oh my gosh, it hurted so bad. And some of them kept unhooking from the little hook that they have on the rod. Child, I don't know if it was me or the rods themselves are just not doing what they're supposed to do. But again, there was only like 2 of them, so they weren't that bad. But also, I'm using the purple size. There are several different size perm rods. I feel like the purple was the most appropriate for the size of my braids and for the look I was going for. If I used any bigger, it wouldn't curl properly, I feel like. And if I used any smaller, I would pretty much be replicating my natural curls. And I wanted a more loopy, bigger, voluminous curl. Not to mention, this is like the perfect holiday hair. Perfect for the season, perfect for winter and fall. Just perfect all around. So again, just make sure you are super smooth and neat when doing your braids because the neatness with the braid is going to determine how neat your curls look after. For the ends where I put the perm rods, I leave about 1.5 inches of my hair so they can wrap around the perm rod. I simply just smooth it out as smooth as I can get it and curl it up under the perm rod, wrapping over the ends until I get to the braided part. And then just secure it by pulling the rubber band over and plugging in the little knob. Sometimes I have to adjust it if I'm not at the proper length of my braid, and I just have to kind of slide the rod through my hair to make sure I'm covering all of the loose end of my hair. So I'll just continue to let you guys watch me put in the braids in, and I'll come back once it's time to take them down. 2 days later, and here we are. My hair is fully dry. I cannot do a style like this and expect to take the braids down the next day. My hair do not be dry. Unless I sit under the dryer for hours, it's never dry. So I wait about 2 days, and one of the rods broke and just would not go back on. So I ended up using a hair clip to pin it, and I slept with a scarf on my head and made sure my roots were flat and secure, and made sure my ends were also inside of the scarf so that they wouldn't start getting frizzy at the end. I'm usually very careful when I take down braid outs or twist outs, and I use an oil. The one that I love is the African Pride Moisture Miracle, like 5 essential oil blend, something like that. I take that oil, put it on my fingers, and as I'm taking down each braid and each rod, I make sure to twirl my hair around my finger and keep reapplying the oil just to give a little extra moisture, and it also smooths my hair out if there were any pieces that kind of went away from the bunch. As I begin taking down the braids, I add more oil, of course, and I just separate each leg of my braid and separate each of those legs even further. I don't do too much separating on day one because as the days go by, they're naturally going to separate, but I try to pull them apart where they naturally want to pull apart. And again, I'm not afraid of frizz, so I don't have to be super perfectly neat while doing this. I just want to separate my curls and make it look more fluffy and voluminous. Y'all, the results are just absolutely beautiful. I was so surprised to see my hair look this fluffy and gorgeous. I should have went in with the pick to kind of comb out my roots a little bit. That would have made it look bigger and fluffier. But of course, that will happen naturally over time. So to style it, I'm just using these butterfly clips that I got from Amazon. And I'm just clipping 2 little parts of my hair in the front for a cute little style. We're about to go to a birthday party, so I thought this was perfect. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you follow me on all my other social media platforms. I post every day. Please check out the description box for all the details and make sure you subscribe for more.